Hey, Karen.
Hey, Pam.
So, what's the hot topic today?
All right, I did a deep dive on tracing.
Tracing. Okay. I want to hear about it because you also know that on Facebook that it has been a topic too. People want to know why some of us, me, don't use sand.
There's been a scuttlebutt.
There has been,
There's
yes.
been for a
And
couple-
why is it that we don't use sand? Well,
Well, it's
okay.
not that we wouldn't use sand. It's just that, like a lot of people say, it's messy. It's kind of a toy. The kids kind of think of it as a toy. And but do you want to know what I found out on my deep dive?
Yeah, I totally want to know what you found out because this whole tracing thing has me like over the edge.
Okay, so here's what I found. Gillingham and Stillman, when they talked about tracing, and I got this from, I was comparing the current version of the Gillingham manual, which was updated, I don't know, in somewhere in the 1970s, like the late 70s. No, in the 90s, sorry, late 90s. And I also happen to have a copy of the 1960 version,
Awesome, awesome, awesome.
the original Anna Gillingham Stillman, Bessie Stillman writing. Now, what what I'm gleaning from this is that Anna and Bessie would take transparent paper, like we used to in the olden days when we were little, and we would trace things using literally tracing paper.
Right.
So they would put this transparent paper over the writing, the words or the letters, I think mainly the words, and then with a pencil, the student traced the word. I can't remember if they sounded the word at the same time.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering, if it was a sound thing or if they said the letters.
I'm going to guess they sounded it as they were tracing it.
It's not specific in the book.
I have to look back and check, but the other thing they referred to as tracing was when if you would trace it in the sky with a pencil or with your finger.
Okay.
That's what Anna and Bessie referred to as tracing.
Okay, so we're not, so there, Anna Gillingham of the Orton Gillingham method does not tell us to trace with our fingers on the table.
No,
So
that
where did
doesn't
that
come
happen?
in until the 1998, I think 1998 version of the Gillingham manual,
Okay,
where those ladies tell us that, apparently in Anna's voice are saying that tracing in sand or on a rough board is appropriate.
so what you're saying, if I hear you correctly, that you could take the same chapter and you could look at what Anna originally wrote, published in 1960. People have updated it in to sound like Anna's talking and to add,
1997. Yep, 1997.
and so they make it sound like Anna's talking
Yeah,
and they're adding other words and they're changing her original words.
right.
So who are these other people and what do you think about that?
Well, it's kind of a little bit disturbing to me because I have found other differences between the 1960 and the 1997 version of the book, which is a topic for another vlog.
Right. And also, I would love to get my hands on a original Orton Gillingham manual.
Well, I have my mom to thank for that because somehow,
Like the original one, the one that went out in
Oh.
1920 is just like that one?
the very original one that came out in 1936,
Yeah,
that would be super cool.
that would be really cool.
And then there was a 1940 and a 46 and a 56 and a 60.
Right. Okay. So now, so I get the whole them updating. What I don't really appreciate is that they're doing it in her voice. And it would make more sense to me that they would say based on a study or findings that we have, but they're not backing it up with any of that. And I find that disheartening. And how can they do that? And so we're watering down Anna's original stuff. I mean, we don't even really, we meaning Minnesota, we do it a little bit different than what Anna's book says too. So
Now here's more of my deep dive.
okay.
Because I was looking into Grace Fernald because she's, so connected with the
Right.
VAT process.
Yep.
And Fernald's idea of tracing was, it seems to me that she was more of a whole word proponent. So
Right.
she would write, she said, don't do more than 3 words a day. write the words really in very big print, and then the student would trace over it with their finger. Now, I
Okay.
don't know if she had them use the pad of their finger or the tip of their finger or what, or if it was one finger or two fingers. It doesn't, I haven't been able to find anything. So perhaps some of the viewers that are watching this vlog might want to
No.
comment
Well, I
about.
do know that when I wrote my multisensory, what is multisensory, I talked about her in that post, and it talked about her and Helen Keller working together and found that the benefits of tracing on a surface was more beneficial than to trace.
Except that by tracing on the surface, she meant, I
I
think,
know, I know. And I'm just wondering,
missing over the letters and saying the
yeah, and
word.
I'm wondering if that's how we made our transition though, was
That could be. She
through
did not
her.
think the pen, using a pencil was helpful.
Yeah, and it was, she thought well, right here I have it. It says that she determined that the rate of learning was more rapid when tracing with a finger than using a pencil.
Now, Maria Montessori is the one who brought in sandpaper.
She did, and she did that in 1912. So that was before all of this other stuff happened.
So then how did sand get connected with Orton Gillingham?
And how did sand become such an important component for some training session, some trainings? And I don't use sand other than to maybe as comic relief sometime. I don't know how they use sand in their lessons either. So I'm gonna, plead complete ignorance with that. I don't know if sand is used for writing their words in dictation, if it's just for when they introduce a new sound. I don't know.
And I don't know that there is any research, any studies that
No,
support using any kind of a tactile surface other than just whatever's handy.
I haven't found any studies, and I've looked, but that doesn't mean they're not out there. Maybe I just used the wrong words, but I would like to find something to support it one way or the other, because
if anyone knows of a study that supports using different tactile surfaces, we'd love to know about it. So comment in the comments.
yeah, for sure, because we want to know. So any other burning subject you want to talk about today, Karen? Because I think your deep dive was amazing. And so now it just has my head spinning more than normal.
On that note, I don't know.
All right.
Wine.
Cheers. I don't have any wine. I have mineral water, but cheers to you, Karen. And thanks a lot. And we'll be talking really soon.
All right.
Bye-bye.